I mean, to hear his words like that, to say they haven't destroyed enough of Gaza, so it's no time for a ceasefire.
Right. In actual fact, see with Starmer, you can tell that he spent too much time in the company of Trevor Chits, is it? The chap that he's a lobbyist for the Israeli government, and he paid for Starmer's leadership race in the Labour Party.
That's right. The Israeli lobby gave him 50 grand for his campaign.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think Starmer's just been spending a bit too much time in their company, getting fed all the words that they're using. And to be honest with you, it's just the man. As far as politics is concerned, he's fucking damned. He's damned his blooming party, and he's damned himself.
That's the interesting thing, because he's lost the Muslim vote.
Yeah.
There are 3 million Muslim people here in these islands.
I know.
That could be enough to let the Tories through.
But David,
I care, because he's just a fucking Tory anyway.
David, the majority of Labour voters look like me. And he's lost him as well. He's fucking lost him as well.
Aye.
How do you deal with that?
Later in that video I made, David, I mean, to get back to your point about number one point, that the tanks are in place, so Hamas couldn't do it again anyway.
That's right.
So,
hi, Davey, is this another live stream? Have you opened this up again?
Yeah, I tell you, look at your shooter when you're daft, get you fall for it every time.
Bastard!
Let's get back to what he said. I mean, he said that Hamas could do it again. You're right, David. The tanks are all around that wire, they're all around that fence. They couldn't do it again if they fucking tried.
But the thing that still stands out like a sore thumb is that the Hamas managed to come out, break through that fence in several places, run through and actually do what they did for 7 bloody hours. I mean, somebody could have blooming crawled from Jerusalem to Gaza with a gun to blooming have a go at them, right? In 7, seriously, it's that kind of, why 7 hours?
Where was the Israeli Defence Force while this was all going on?
Where were the police? Never mind the IDF. We're just talking about blooming a standard police force. Bringing it in, oh, hang on, we've got something going on here. They're shooting at me, Sure, I would ring the bells, but it didn't. And I have to say, because of that, this has got Mossad written all over it.
That is right, it stinks to high hell.
Yeah.
But to hear Starmer say that, we haven't destroyed enough of Gaza, and he lets Stoke and torment the buggers by giving them something to eat between blowing them up.
I heard this morning that foreign passport holders were allowed to leave through the Rafah crossing.
They can get there without getting blown up by getting in a vehicle.
Exactly. I know that. I know.
I mean, Israel is classified everything as a military target.
Oh, because they're getting the support of the Americans, right? And they've got a major battle group in the Mediterranean now, with a second one coming through, which I haven't heard about, but possibly, right? Okay. The Israelis will now have direct link to satellites being able to look into that area. And those satellites, as they come into position, they might not be geostationary. They might come into play, and then another one will come in. And what will happen is they'll be feeding them that so they can actually track vehicles on the ground, and therefore get the targeting information to get them. I
bet you they already had access to that for the Americans.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, also the fact is the Americans are still bombing this port in Syria. That's going to be the end point of the big pipeline.
Aye.
So they can fill up
tanks.
Yeah. People are missing all of that, because at the moment I've taken a short break from the Scottish independence thing and put my mind completely into this, so I can just read and see what's going on in that region. And I tell you now, you couldn't make it up. You
And as
couldn't.
you and I know, David, this is what they do with the bricks and the Silk Road. They want an alternative to it.
Yeah. This is now becoming a fight between the old world order. Sorry, that was the one that was in the 1990s, the New World Order, Bush's New World Order, and the real New World Order, which is BRICS.
Aye.
Yeah. And I'll tell you now, it just takes for China to go forehead to forehead with the Americans, and it'll kick off. At the moment, they're playing proxy wars. They're playing proxy opposition to each other, proxy power.
Aye.
If
Well,
they,
I better take us back half further now, because Madam Director's got some noise going on in the background, and I don't want copyright infringements, you know. Anyway, you say no want copyright infringement, but as I say, Starmer's position on this is untenable. It shows you that he's a monster.
yeah. There are many monsters that exist in this world. In actual fact, I put up in my own timeline a wee cartoon, a wee lassie lying in bed. Her dad was reading her, and she said, "I don't want a story that logically explains the world. I want a world where a wee lassie can actually enjoy a nonsense story without any problems." And
Aye.
that's the whole point of it.
Aye.
You give kids back their childhood. And I just don't know what's happening with this world. It's like, okay, during the Second World War, we had the death camps of the Nazis, and I got to the point I couldn't. My mother liked the Auschwitz stories and all the rest of it, right? I couldn't watch them. And yet here we have Israel, of anybody, creating a death camp. And that's effectively what they've done with the entire section. Gaza is a death camp. So's the West Bank as well. They've been using them for target practice. What?
Aye. The settlers are just.
And the one I heard the other day there that totally made me gasp was that they've been taking children out of the Palestinian areas and locking them up in prison with no charges against them. They're just held for years and years and years. How do you?
And they also keep them in cages, no cells. It's beyond the pale. The United Kingdom government is complicit in war crimes.
Yeah.
That makes us all complicit in war crimes.
Yes, it does. Correct.
It's another reason for getting away from these nut jobs. And to watch the COVID inquiry yesterday, I'm not going to get into it, we'll talk about it tomorrow, David. But the Chatham House speech just made me sick and naughty. And the reporters weren't asking the right questions. The reporters weren't asking how much of Gaza do you need to destroy, how many civilians you
something there. So yesterday, you didn't agree entirely with what I put up on Facebook, which is that now a vote for the Tories or Labour is a vote for Netanyahu and the Israeli government. Effectively, that's it. Because we're all linked to America as a vassal state. So therefore, what America pushes is what we live with, right?
Yes.
And I've got to say, let's get rid of these people forever. Let's not mess about. This has got to be Scottish independence. We've got to pull away from that lot and paddle our own canoe. And we will deal with the Americans, but we'll deal with the Americans through the diaspora, the people that moved to America, Scots that moved to America, and they'll put pressure on the American government more than anything else.
Aye, because there's a lot of them.
And the rich.
But as I say, it's got beyond the pale now.
Yeah.
It really has. As I say, Sunak, he's done what Sunak does. He's went to ground. God knows what's going on with him, what's in his head. We maybe get a wee insight into it in about 5 minutes' time, 10 minutes' time, when Prime Minister's questions comes watching that Punch and Judy shows enough to make your stomach flip. You know, and they say the grown up in the room and that place down that road has been the SNP. It has been the SNP. They've been calling for a ceasefire from the start.
This is going to happen, but this is going to happen to the point that we put pressure on the SNP government to run another conference, and we go, forget that shite previously. This time, without any amendments, if it's a majority in the SNP seats in the House of Commons, we're independent. We can't afford to fuck about with this. We can't afford stupid heads within the SNP to blooming put it off. It's got to change to the way whereby we become independent. No ifs, buts, or maybes.
Well, first thing we need to do is get this movement back together.
Yes, correct.
Because the cracks that we put in it are pretty horrific.
Yeah. It's stupid.
I mean, the reason why the SNP said vote SNP 1 and 2, because when you split a movement into multiple parties, depletes the vote. The whole idea of voting for one party was to ensure that the single message could not be ignored.
Can you imagine what would have happened if Nicola Sturgeon at the time said, "Oh, that's a good point. Vote for Alex Salmond's party is number 2 on your list, right?" You would have been given. It's like you give people permission by doing that, right? And what would have happened is SNP would have got fucked.
But what's more important, David, the whole point of picking one party of independence and everybody voting for it, it's because you cannot deny the will of the people if they're all voting for one party and the one thing. We know that at this next general election, if the SNP don't get a decent majority, then this game's over.
Well, as it is at the moment, with the rules that have been brought through, as it is at the moment, unless they get about 50 MPs in place, you'd have to run round every door in Scotland and tell them, look, we need 50 SNP MPs to become independent.
See, this is where the
had they not put up with the stupid amendments put in place with MPs that were trying to protect their 80 fucking grand wage, then we could have done it with 31 MPs. Simple as that.
Well, the latest Business for Scotland polling shows that the SNP should still take 40 odd MPs, but that's beside the point. The whole point of picking one party and running with it was to stop any of this carry on. Oh, no, as the vote split, it's no majority for the SNP. Look what's happening in Holyrood the new. You know, we've got an SNP gain government with a majority who were voted in on the prospectus of holding another referendum, and it's been ignored. And that's because it's not a single party. That's because the vote is split. If people in the movement, you pick a leader and you stick to that one purpose of that movement will be successful. The minute you start splitting that movement up into different divisions, you split your vote, unionists through the middle, game's a fucking bogey.
That's right. David, what you're saying is too simple, too straightforward. Obviously, people aren't getting this.
There's very intelligent people. We have a movement to get ourselves free. But if we split that fucking movement, you don't win.
People aren't bright and intelligent when their blooming brains going in a stupid way. And I'll tell you now, see the fucking Alba lot, right? I'm just sick of them. I really am, honestly.
Oh, listen, David, democracy, they're entitled to
No, seriously. I can see that what they're doing is going to cost us independence for fucking decades, right? End of story. They can't argue against that because they can see what they're doing. Simple as that.
Yeah, but their argument is that we're not getting independence anyway. Well, the reason we're not getting independence is we don't have a single solitary movement anywhere. They put the splits in it.
Correct.
Now, all these old fuckers that are on their way out the door are going to die before they see the benefits of independence giving it. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up.
But, David,
it's never been about us. It's always been about the children.
Even if we got independence tomorrow, what good's it going to do me?
You're full of shit. You wouldn't get 20 to 30 more MSPs. We tried this with Solidarity. They tried it with the fucking Greens. It didn't work. There's only one way to win, and that's for a single movement, a single leader, and a single vote on a single issue. That's the only fucking way to do it.
That's also what the international community are looking for out of a general election vote, is a single party elected as the majority of the Scottish vote. End of. If you don't get that, then obviously you need to rethink your own thoughts. Simple as that.
As I say, it's no. I mean, we don't all agree with SNP policy except for fucking one policy. But this idea that we can have multiple fucking MSPs or MPs for different parties and have it recognised, we fucking know that's not true. We've got it in Hollywood the new. And yet we still got fucking people giving it vote, split your vote. Or vote for this party, vote for that party, vote for that party. And through the middle comes a unionist.
Exactly.
Feels really, we are politically fucking thick. Absolutely thick as mince. Split movements don't win their causes.
Correct.
Simple as that.
Absolutely. And that's where you've got to grow up, Peter. You, people like you, have got to fucking grow up politically and realise it's not going to happen.
We already know it's going to happen.
David, hang on. For as long as you lot support that bastard, he's formed the Alba Party, right? I wouldn't even say his name.
Here's another one for him. Peter, you would agree with us if the SNP support was up with the support for independence. It fucking was! We had 56 or 59 fucking MPs!
Yeah, exactly.
And then the splits come along. And then another election come along and that get diminished. We already had one cause, one fucking goal.
Seriously, Alba is a party full of political children. Something like that. You lot don't get your head round this. That's it. You're going to cost everybody independence for decades.
By the way, what's worse is Mr. Salmon, who politically woke us all up, knows this.
Yeah.
He knows it. He was the advocate of it.
I don't know.
One party, one goal. He was the advocate of it. And now that he's out of public life, his ego won't let him disappear.
Yeah.
But we had that one party, one goal. We had 56 MPs. Support for SNP was up there with support for independence.
Yeah. I listened to that debate night the other night there, and this wee woman, obviously an Alba supporter, she was having a go at that. The lassie that was on debate night the other night there from the SNP, she wasn't a good debater. She wasn't good. She wasn't right for doing that kind of a confrontation thing. And this wee woman from Alba, the stuff she was saying was just ridiculous. It really was, honestly.
Peter, I know you're not shouting at me. I'm shouting at you guys.
Yeah.
I warned about this a couple of years ago. The video I made wasn't for the general public, really. It was for the people who were going to set up the Alpha Party.
Yeah.
Now, we're in a democracy. There's nothing we can do about the fact that it exists. But unless we solidify behind the one party and the one goal, this movement's fucked. Simple as that, because when we split the vote, it lets them through the middle.
I assure you, see if it doesn't go through this time, the general election, right? Plebiscite election. I won't be doing this. I'm getting to the point where I'm sick of fighting against our own people. I'm sick of having to fight against our own people. I'm sick of having to blooming deal with nasty wee blooming people from the Alba Party that decide they want to have a go at the SNP that they don't like.
There's a fair statement here for Reg. And what it says is, short memories. Alex Salmon was SNP 1 and 2 when he was leader.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, this idea of splitting the vote, Alex Salmon knows fine well it doesn't work. One goal.
Oh,
one
no.
movement, one party, one goal.
Alex Salmon wants to split the vote. That's his whole idea. That's his whole raison d'etre. Because he doesn't want somebody else.
Can we just cross the line? That's right.
So at the end of the day, hey guys, wake up, wake up, wake up. Salmon is not on your side.
No, any more he's not.
No.
Because he knows the political truths of what I'm saying, David. He knows the political truths of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He knows the political truth of what you're saying.
Yeah. It's, this idea of uniting the parties and all the rest of it, right? Ain't working. It ain't working because even if the people in the SNP say, "All right, come on, Alba," and you know this, right? Alba don't want that. Alba want to get in and do as much damage. I'm not saying it's all down to all individuals within Alba. However, there are those that are directing Alba that are blooming saying, right, fire across there, put a bomb there, blooming hit that, right? That's what they're doing. And I think we need to blooming wake up and deal with it. If you are SNP and you can see what we are saying is true, then realise you've got a fight in your hands. And you've got to explain to everybody that is turned to Alba for some stupid bloody reason that maybe we waited too long or we had the right to actually go ahead and go for a referendum and all the rest of it.
Clinton will keep supporting the dying shite, mate, because there's no alternative.
Yeah.
And as for SNP not going for independence, the roadblocks to independence were put in place not by the SNP. Signing the Section 30 order giving that right to Westminster to control whether, when we can and cannot have a say, and then the Supreme Court ruling blocked it.
Yeah.
And that comes down to signing a Section 30 order when Mr. Salmon was advised at the time to tell him to fuck off. It's our democracy and our law, and we'll vote the way we'll hold the vote ourselves.
There is a body of legal opinion that says that Alex Salmon did not require a Section 30 at that time. He could have said, no, sorry, we don't want your Section 30. We just want to proceed and get ahead with a referendum. If you don't like it, take us to court and we'll fight in court for years, but Scotland will be independent. That's what he could have done.
Aye, he could have.
He go
and fuck himself.
But did he? No. Did he fuck?
But never mind the mistakes of the previous campaign. The same man is now splitting this movement. But what's interesting about it is, they're no polling, but they could take enough in the marginal seat to see a unionist sneak through.
Yeah.
That 2% of the vote they're getting is never going to get them an MP.
Yeah.
But what it might do is take 800 votes away in a marginal seat.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Salmon's boy, and he's no wanting to get up.
Yeah. Down to you guys. Power of the people. Power of the people always works. If you want to tell Salmon what you think of him and to actually go away, stop voting for him, start supporting him. Simple. It really is simple. And get behind the SNP where there's a chance they can actually get you independence. It doesn't matter how much force you put behind Alba. Hang on, David. You are never, ever going to get independence within your lifetime because Alba can't do it on their own. Of course they can't. Think about it. It's logical. It's straightforward.
I want to reply to Kathleen here because she's a big Alex Salmon fan for years. So was I. I've got his portrait on my wall, but the books he's written a lot. Huge fan. Yeah. But I've got to reflect on what happened last time and what's happening now.
Yeah.
I warned about this 2 years ago, and I hate being fucking right all the time, but I knew this was going to happen. The reason why I warned about it 2 years ago is because I caught wind that some of these bampots who had prominent positions in the movement didn't have a prominent position in the movement anymore and couldn't keep their egos at the box or keep their egos in the box for the good of the movement.
Effectively, what's happened is that people have gone the direction of Alba, right? But also, what they've done is they've put their hopes into Salvo, right? Now, this is logical. It's a logical argument, right? A legal case of that order concerning an international treaty takes years. Right? So therefore, if you're sitting there as an avid supporter of Alba, thinking that Salvo are going to get you over the line to independence, you're fucking brainless. You need to come and rethink that. You need to realise what you need is something to happen to get the ballot boxes out of their cupboards where we all vote, and then through that we can say, oh, the Scottish people have voted, that's their settled will, we're independent. Who's going to deny that? Who's going to try and pull away from that? Now, at the moment, we've got idiots down in Westminster, our own MPs, our own SNP MPs, that put in amendments that effectively took us away from the situation of
where whom they're saying to declare.
Yeah, where you could declare independence based on 31 or 32 SNP MPs. We've got a majority, so therefore the people of Scotland have voted, have spoken. Now, look, guys, I don't care who you are. I've spoken to you before or whatever, right? If you're Alba and you're putting your hopes on Salvo, get with a programme. Realise you are not going to get independence for us. You never, ever will.
As I say, the interest in what Salvo's doing is researching the old constitution so we don't tramp brain people when we're writing a new one. But the other thing that people have to realise with Salvo is the Salvo can't approach the UN. It's going to be a third party UN member to bring Scotland's case up on the floor of the UN.
Yeah, we had a similar situation back in the run up to the 2014. We were wanting UN to come in and look at what was
going on. What did the UN tell us?
I remember that what the unit was called was ODIA, because we all laughed at it. It was ODIA, right? It's ODEIE, whatever it is, right? And seriously, that's what it comes down to. We've already been these roads. Do you not think we would have? Do you think the world was invented fucking yesterday in Sarah Sawyer's mind? Sarah's a lovely lass. I wish her all the best, but she ain't going to get us independence. And it doesn't matter how many speeches she makes.
Same with all this Stirling directive. To take back control of our assets and things like that.
It's pissing in the wind. I need something straightforward and logical that gets us over the line. And our politicians that are in charge of Scotland say, right, that's it, done, we are independent. Do what you fucking like.
England. You're a deed horse, so we can just all pack up and go home. Because I'll tell you what, 51% of the Scottish population is no voting for Alba because of who leads it. Because he was tried in public, he was tried and acquitted in a court of law. He wasn't tried and acquitted in the court of public opinion. And some of the information that came out at his trial about being naked on a bed with an aide without having any sex with him and things like that. Listen, that put the female population off him. Turns out he was a bit handsy. So that took half the population.
I have a friend.
The Alpha Party, they want to make some inroads. Then the Alpha Party had better just get rid of Mr. Salmon and put somebody in place that the female population of Scotland is going to vote for. Because political truths are political truths, no matter how many people get their heads in the fucking sand bucket.
Anyway, I was going to say something about Salmon, but I won't bother. Right.
No, we're no back to gossip about Alec. Well, no, I tell you, Kathleen, he's made a lot of mistakes since he left office. For a start, appearing on Russian television for his programme. All right, he had no choice because no UK broadcaster would take him on. Right, and as for his behaviour, well, although he was acquitted, some of the facts that came out about his behaviour was enough to keep out and was enough to give the mainstream media enough to go after him and keep it in the public eye and turn the female population off voting for him. How do you justify getting drunk? How do you justify being drunk, getting an aide to strip off and get in bed with you?
Yeah, David, Catherine's saying, what about Ash Reagan? Ash Reagan's just collateral damage. It's like Alex Salmond's led her, yet again, led her along the garden path. she's going to end up. She's drank the Kool-Aid, as they say, and therefore she's moved to the other party. And I hope maybe someday when she's a very, very old woman, she'll look back and she'll go, maybe
Margaret Knox agrees with me that the female population is not going to vote for Alpha as long as Alex is at the top of the tree.
Yeah.
So she's asking about who would take his place. Well, they've just hired Ash Reagan.
Yeah, that's right. She could
maybe a female vote would vote for Ash.
Yeah. But yet again, here we are. We are blooming a political party that aims to split the independence vote. Is that what you want? Is it really what you want? Or do you just want independence so we can get on and deal with things in their own way? End of.
You see, split movements, I said this 2 years ago, but split movements just do not win their causes.
Kathleen, Alex Salmond has fought tooth and nail for himself. Take from that what you will. I'm not going to back you up on that, woman. Alex is sleazy grooming with Ash. Nah, come on. It's like we don't know, and because you don't know, to make allegations like that is not really odd.
No, I don't think it was anything like that at all. I don't think it was anything like that at all. As I say, Alex was quite. I'm going to defend Alex here. Alex was acquitted. But some of the information that came out in that trial that was true was enough for the press to be able to turn the female population off him.
Yeah.
Like getting an aide drunk and getting on a bed naked with her. Yeah. If you don't find that creepy, then there's something no right there.
All right, okay. Enough about Salmon. As far as I'm concerned, he's a known entity now.
Politically, he's a known entity. Publicly, he's still about a character.
Well, so's Gordon Brown. You know, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Non-entity, right? The most important thing is these people. These are the people that I talk to, and these are the people I want to get across the logic. The logic of where they are going politically. If you stay with Alba and you stay with Salvo and all the rest of it, right? You're just going the wrong way. You need to create a situation where there's a vote and the Scottish people can vote based upon the main party saying a vote for us is a vote for independence, and that's it. And it is independence. And they tell you exactly what they'll do if they get a majority of MPs down that road. At the moment, we're sat in a situation where we need 50 plus MPs down that road in order to give Humza Yousaf and Stephen Flynn the excuse to say, no, we've got enough there and we're now independent, do what you like, right? We might not get 50. We might be lucky to get 31, 32, I don't know, right?
I don't know. People are turning their back on the Labour Party again because of this carry on.
Yeah, but the thing is, the batteries in my crystal ball have ran out. I just need for this to fucking go. SNP, end of story. Let's get it done.
As I say, the point is, split movements don't win.
Yeah.
Look what happened to the carry on in Greece with the financial collapse, and they all go together, and they're all going to do this, going to do that, and then they ended up fighting with each other, and they kowtowed to the European Central Bank.
The only person that gained out of that was Yanis Varoufakis, because he's a very intelligent man, and he's good at making points on his little videos that he puts out.
Aye, and he was the finance minister that kowtowed to the EU Central Bank anyway, isn't he?
He didn't really kowtow to them. It was it was the EU Central Bank that was pushing things. And to be honest with you, you can look at it a few different ways. I'm not going to get into that argument again. The argument was that people were saying they should never have been part of the EU. Some people, right? Other people were saying they should form their own currency, a silverback currency that could have done whatever, right? But they gained from having the EU, the euro, because it meant that a cup of coffee in Germany was the same as what it cost in Greece. End of. That was it. Yeah. Anyway, right. So forget Greece. We're on about Scotland here, right? If you agree with what I'm saying and you don't want to say, that's fine, that's all right, I don't care.
At the end of the day, disagree. The facts are facts.
Yeah, you just.
I mean, there isn't any splitting the vote. There's none of this carry on about, there isn't none of this carry on about, as long as the party stands for independence, it will be recognised. No, it won't. The truth is in Holyrood. When people don't understand the basics are you either have one party, one movement, and one vote, and everybody voting in one way, then it won't be recognised.
When you're up against the British establishment, you need everybody on the barricades all at the same time with their pikes and their swords pointing in the same direction. End of story. At the moment, what we've got is we've got a barricade where
I need to put Robert's mind at rest. Robert, I did a video earlier on Starmer, and David phoned me up to have a chat, and I said to him, what's that behind you, David? And I hit the live button while I wasn't looking. So that's what's happening. There will be a show tomorrow covering diverse topics. Today, but David and I were basically only talking about Starmer, and then we go on to the comments, which led us down the road of how the movement's gone.
Yeah.
And it's gone to hell in a fucking handbag.
Yeah.
Unless we get behind the one party, one goal, then what we've seen with split representation in Holyrood proves that they will only recognise the one party. Yeah, let's say we get 50 MPs between the Greens, Alpa and the SNP, but the SNP only take 29 of these seats. Game's over. Game is over. Because they won't recognise Alpa and they won't recognise the Greens. They don't recognise the Greens in Holyrood. What makes you think they recognise Alpa and the Greens in Westminster? They don't recognise the Alpa party in Westminster.
No, what everybody's got to realise is that what do you think happens after a politician says, right, that's it, we're independent? Do you think it's just the Tories and the Labour go, oh, fair enough, okay? No, they don't. They dig their heels in. They make life impossible. They make it look as if they're going to bloom invade us. They won't, right? And at the end of the day, it's like that. That's what they'll do. The only difference that's made is when other countries come out in support of an independent Scotland. We of Norway, we recognise an independent Scotland, and it goes on. And the more countries that back us up on that, that's what creates independence. Not Alba.
Wait a minute. Peter's asking what party isn't he uniting the movement? The ones that put the split in it who are screaming, let us at the table. Let us at the table while we cause as much destruction as we can.
That's right. Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it? It's just the people that are that way minded just need to go and have a good chat with themselves and really think it through and realise, what are you doing? Are you wanting to have independence blooming taken off the table for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 decades? Stupid.
Listen, Kathleen, that's a fair statement. SNP cannot expect support if they do not fulfil their promises and hold people's trust. What promise have they not kept, except for being able to hold a referendum because that was kiboshed by the courts?
Yeah.
99% of their manifestos of pledges have been so far fulfilled up until this particular parliament, where they've taken on bigger tasks than what they thought they were going to be able to do. And then with things like inflation and that getting on the road and stripping the Scottish budget bare. Yeah. But when it comes to their social policies, which they put forward in their manifestos, Kathleen, they have fulfilled them, including the child payment. Right. The next one that Hooms is trying to fulfill is the National Care Service.
9 years, right? Okay, 9 years. That takes us from 2014 to 2023. So it wasn't 9 years. What we had was, you and I remember, we did the big build-up with Scot to Scot, with all the 59 groups and all the rest of it, right? And we managed to get a huge number of MPs elected to Westminster, right? So let's get it right. We're talking about, you're down to 8 years there, Kathleen. Let's be sensible at this, right? Let's take out of that the 3 years that we went through the pandemic. We're still going through the pandemic now, right? But with 3 years taken out with that, so that's like 5 years. But then also we had this the situation with the EU and all the bargain that was going on with that, and Scotland getting taken out. I really don't think your argument of 9 years of having a mandate really holds water. It doesn't, right? So at the end of the day, it's like you can berate the SNP as much as you want, but the plan to get us out now relies on a plebiscite. Okay.
Part of the SNP split the movement by being unionists, according to Quinn. Sorry, he's on the naughty step for 5 minutes.
Go.
He's on the naughty step for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But as I say, what people have to realise is they don't recognise other parties. They don't recognise the Greens. They won't recognise Alpha. They don't recognise Alpha in Westminster. Why? There's not enough for them to make a quorum. The same way that there's not enough to make a quorum for the Lib Dems in Holyrood.
You get quorum's a fairly old word. It's like I used to hear it when I was in boardrooms, right? And it's like you couldn't hold a board meeting without there being a quorum of directors present. That's the whole point. You have to have enough people to be able to discuss something and agree or disagree. Yeah.
Right. But people don't go to realise that there is only one party that this mob will recognise.
Yeah.
And that's
but also the international community, because what do you think Nicola Sturgeon has been doing? Do you think she was studying knitting patterns? No, she was abroad, talking to international politicians, saying, right, are you going to recognise us if we become independent, right?
But there is I had a point you make, I'm right with me.
That's also
what. Oh, right. These are another thing. People are saying that the SNP are no preparing for independence. Where are they putting all these prospectuses out for? Why are they building the infrastructure for it?
Why are they building embassies, trade centres, all the rest of it? Do you think these people that were doing this are just bloody stupid? No, they're not. They do realise that before you go ahead with a big project like this, you need to plan. You need to plan everything, right?
And you think about a social security system, the National Investment Bank, which could quickly become the central bank. They've put all the infrastructure in place.
Tax system.
It's not there.
Okay, it's personal tax, but at the same time, it's dead easy to add in the corporation tax and all the rest of it, right? So,
all the systems are now in place, and that's been built since 2007.
Yeah.
And we're not going to cut the importance of what Mr. Salmon did out here. Yeah. And people must think I'm doing it. No. I just recognise the political reality of where we are. And that's the thing that's going to be recognised here. We're talking about political realities. We are talking about political realities here. The political reality is that Westminster's not recognising anybody but the SNP, and the international community is not recognising anybody except for the SNP. Simple as that. In a fair democratic system, I would be more than happy to say, yep, as many independence parties as possible, because independence representation will be recognised. But I'm sorry, we have Holyrood along there that proves otherwise. Yeah. And that's a political reality. Anybody want to argue against that in the comments, go ahead. Because that is a political reality. The political reality is that we have two pro-independence parties make up the majority in Holyrood, and they don't recognise it. The international community, well, they're not being asked the question because we haven't got there yet.
Right, guys, I think we've said enough. I think we've said enough for to give you enough time to think about things, because, okay, some of you have got some thinking to do, I believe, right? If you honestly think that, Alex Salmon, Alba, and the Salvo and all that sort of stuff is going to end up with us becoming independent in your lifetime, then you may be on the wrong course. You just need to think about it a wee bit, that's all. It's like, I don't care if you don't like certain people within the SNP. As far as I'm concerned, it's a political vehicle to independence. And we can make it happen. You just need to get people on board with the idea. Don't be daft.
Split movements. Split movements have never won their cause.
Yeah.
Never.
That's right.
And so if somebody wants to dig up a history book that shows me that split movements, they win their cause, I'd be quite happy to read it.
Anyway,
maybe I'll learn something that I didn't already know.
What I've seen since the formation of Alba, it's just disappointed me well and truly, and it's not for the fact that I'm particularly against political parties, except for the ones that are based in London, Westminster, and all the rest of it. Right, those I'm against, but it's just daft. It's just why would you do such a thing?
That's interesting. Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy has been slammed after he told the BBC that an Israeli airstrike on a refugee camp can be legally justified. Nothing can legally justify anything that Israel's doing.
And this is the guy that's going to end up as the foreign minister for the United Kingdom if the Labour get into number 10. Do you realise that? Yeah?
It's a horror show. And we're no any closer to getting away with it because of splits in the movement, David.
Yeah, I know. Look, guys, I'm going to go, right? The whole conversation sickens me having to make it in the first place. I'm asking Scottish folk to get behind the barricades and point all their swords and pikes in the same direction. My goodness me, how stupid is that? If Wallace was alive, he'd fucking take a sword to the lot of yous.
What's very important is that he, when it comes to the modern day Labour Party, if Keir Starmer was alive, he'd kick if Keir Hardie was alive, he'd kick Keir Starmer's boys for him.
I know.
Yeah. But anyway, David, I didn't mean to sneak you on for a.
Look, as rough as hell, because I'm going to last night because those blooming fuck.
I didn't mean to sneak you on for a rant because it didn't start out as a rant on the splits and the independence movement. It started out to talk about Starmer and his horrific speech at Chatham House yesterday.
Well, anyway, guys, there you go. Just
we're losing viewers at a rapid rate and odds here because we tell political truths.
Yeah. Okay. At the end of the day, go away, think. What happens inside your own heads is your business. You just need to really rethink where you're going and ask some pointed questions of those that are trying to mislead you into.
But David, what we need to do is get back behind the one idea, one goal, and we only have one political vehicle. Anybody that loses more than one bus here is deluded. But I've got a big hairy beastie here who's saying it's time to go, Daddy.
Right, I'm going.
Right, I'll no sneakers on like that too often, David. See you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock for a wider discussion on more subjects than what we've covered today.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.